Previously on the hands-on hacking series, we faced a heavily guarded perimeter, Redis demanded passwords, LDAP led to a dead end, and NFS blocked our IP. But by pivoting to a misconfigured Rsync service, we bypassed all defenses and looted Ptok's hidden config files. Using those looted credentials, we finally secured our initial shell in the target box. But having a low-level shell is never the end goal. Today, we are going for root. Let's try to pull down the entire data repository to our local machine using Rsync, but we immediately hit a snag. Skipping directory. A classic rookie mistake. By default, Rsync doesn't grab folders. We need to append the AV flags to force a recursive archive download. A true red teamer always secures multiple attack vectors. Remember that outdated Webmin service we fingerprinted earlier? Let's check Metasploit for version 1.58. Bingo! Look at those beautiful red lines. 2 remote command execution vulnerabilities. Even better, they both have Metasploit modules ready to fire. We just found our golden ticket to a reverse shell. We have those Metasploit modules for Webmin ready as our lethal plan B. But before we drop that nuke, let's follow up on that exposed NFS share we found earlier. To read the target's files, we need a local mount point. I'll run sudo mkdir pmtmfs data. This essentially creates a docking station on our Kali machine, ready to pull the target's data right in. It proves that sometimes the strongest firewall in a pen test is just your own clumsy typing. Done. Now that we've successfully downloaded the entire home directory via Rsync, it's time to go looting. Inside, we find a goldmine of user directories. Let's take a closer look at our friend, Ptok. A standard ls shows nothing, but real hackers know that the most valuable secrets are always hidden. By running lawsals la, we uncover his dot files. The basher looks pretty standard, nothing to exploit here. But wait, what is this? Plan file. In old Unix systems, this was used to share your status with others. Let's cat it out. Are you kidding me? He left his system password in plaintext right here. We just got the keys to the kingdom. Now, let's use this to SSH back into the target and get our shell. Metasploit is up. Even the magic word error couldn't kill the vibe. Let's get to work. I'm running the command Metasploit. The MIN flag stands for mirror. It pulls a copy of the exploit script from the local database right into my current working directory. And here is the output. Console successfully executed the system command for us. It confirms we are dealing with a remote command execution vulnerability in Webmin's show, CGI. Notice the verified true flag. This means the exploit has been tested and proven to work in the wild. Most importantly, the Ruby script is now successfully copied to our local directory. Let's analyze the code. Most importantly, the Ruby script is now successfully Looking at the description, this module targets a flaw in Webmin's file manager component, specifically show.cgi. But here is the catch. If we look at the required options, look closely at the register, options, block here in the source code, we see username and password. That true flag right there? It means these fields are absolutely mandatory. It clearly needs a valid username and password. It is an authenticated remote command execution. This is an authenticated exploit. Without valid credentials, this weapon is completely useless. And this is exactly why finding that plaintext password in the plan file earlier was our golden ticket. Scrolling down to the actual exploit function, we can see the magic trick. It logs in first, gets a session cookie, and here it is, the heart of the exploit. This single line of code is what compromises the entire server. Look closely at the URI parameter. It constructs a path to show CGI. It takes our malicious payload, the command variable, and wraps it tightly in pipe characters. Because Webmin fails to sanitize this input, the Linux underlying system interprets the pipe and executes our code. Feel free to look into this Google Doc. I won't explain it more. Running show options reveals the blueprint of the attack. We have the module options to target the server. In the payload options for the reverse shell, notice the R port is set to 80 and SSL is false. My L host is ready on 192.168.78.137 port 4444, waiting to catch the shell. This blindly is exactly why it failed earlier. But firing this blindly is exactly why it failed earlier. Immediately, Metasploit throws a yellow warning. Changing SSL might require changing the R port. Why? Because this PHP collab module defaults to port 80, which is unencrypted HTTP. SSL expects HTTPS. Turning SSL off wouldn't save this. We are using the wrong module against a target that expects traffic on port 10000. It is a classic port and protocol mismatch. Time to scrap this and load the right tool for the job. But in a real penetration test, you sometimes fall down a rabbit hole. I tried to force this PHP core module to work. I adjusted the R port to 1000000. I even mistyped password in the heat of the moment. Ignoring all the console warnings, I hit run anyway, hoping for a shell. But instead the module tried to upload a PHP backdoor and crashed hard. Look at the red text. SSL, connect returned wrong version number. The target's SSL configuration is actively rejecting Metasploit's handshake. This failure was actually the intelligence I needed. Automated tools won't save us here. Information gathering is where the real war is won. I noticed the target had an Rsync service exposed. I ran Rsync with the list only flag to peek inside the data module without triggering any massive downloads. Look at this. No passwords required. The server just handed over the directory listing. We can see standard Linux profile files and, more importantly, an ops folder with a DNS runbook. Earlier, I saw port 3306 was open, so I tried to attack the front door. Connecting directly to the MySQL database as root, I tried connecting without a password, hoping for a lazy misconfiguration, but the server slammed the door in my face and looked closely at the output. It is not just an access denied error. It is another TLS. SSL connection reset. The target's strict encryption policies are blocking us at the network level. Without the correct password and a matching SSL setup, this vector is dead. Instead of digging through directories, I decided to do a targeted pull. I ran a new rsync command targeting the exact path of the runbook and appended at the end. Now, the cat command works perfectly, and look at what we have here. This runbook is a goldmine. Reading this runbook is like finding the administrator's secret diary. They literally wrote down their own vulnerabilities. First, they confirm a legacy Webmin is running on port 10,000 inches cybersecurity. Legacy means vulnerable and unpatched, but it gets better. Look at this line about the user pturk. It explicitly states his plan file might still leak credentials. The sysadmin knew there was a security leak, documented it but didn't fix it. This is a catastrophic human error. We now have our target service and a map to the password. Next step, we hunt down Peter's plan file. Now that I have the username pturk, I try to walk right in through the front door using SSH, but I am stopped by a password prompt. I could try brute forcing it, but let's work smarter, not harder. Remember that runbook? It explicitly warned that Peter's plan file might still leak credentials. I go back to the local folder we grabbed earlier via Rsync and I cat Peter's plan file. The password for this account is Tuesday. Armed with the plaintext password Tuesday, it's time to breach the front door. I initiate the SSH connection again. I drop in the stolen credentials and past that intimidating government warning banner. We are in. We have officially gained initial access to the target machine, but don't celebrate just yet. Notice the $sign at the end of the prompt? It means we are just a standard, low-privileged user. To take complete ownership of this server, we need root. And that is exactly why we need to weaponize that Webmin exploit we found earlier. Once inside, the first instinct for privilege escalation is always to check the sudo as file. I run sudo. We are greeted by the classic Linux lecture about great power and great responsibility. I feed it the password Tuesday, hoping Peter was sloppy with his permissions. Sorry, try again. It fails. Peter does not have sudo privileges with this password. The easy path to becoming root is completely blocked. Since the sudo root is a dead end, it's time for local enumeration. We need to know exactly what kind of environment we just walked into. First, I run ID. It confirms I am just a low-level user, pturk. No lucky group memberships to exploit here. Next, I check the home directory with laugh lies. There is our infamous plan file. But the real gold is in the system info. I run cat, etc. os release and uname. It's a Debian 10 system, but look closely at that. Kernel build date, July 2016. This is a massively outdated kernel. A machine running a 2016 kernel is highly vulnerable to local privilege escalation exploits. After identifying the OS, I need to see who else lives on this server. I run ls-late home to enumerate the users, and the list is massive. Look at these names: admin, Unix admin, vpn admin, DBA. These are extremely high-value targets. If we could pivot to any of these accounts, we'd strike gold. But look closely at the permissions on the far left, Doctor. They are locked down tight. As the user pturk, I don't have read access to a single one of these directories. Sneaking around as a low-level user isn't going to cut it here. To break this vault wide open, we absolutely need root. Remember that outdated 2016 kernel we found? If we want to hit it with a local exploit, we usually need to compile it from source. I run which GCC to see if the C compiler is installed, and there it is. USR, bin, GCC. Leaving a compiler on a production server is a massive security blunder. It means we can build our weapons right here on the target machine. Next, I navigate to TMP and check the permissions. While setting up our workspace in TMP, let's not ignore the goldmine of information right in front of us. The temporary folder is like the system's trash bin. Just by looking at what services are dropping files here, we can map the internal environment. Look at these directories. We see evidence of an ancient Tomcat 6 server and Redis database services running locally. Both are notorious for privilege escalation vectors. If our current plans fail, these are perfect backup targets, and there it is, .webmin. This passive enumeration confirms the runbook's claim. The Webmin service is definitely active. It is time for plan B. We know this 2016 kernel is vulnerable, so let's deploy the legendary dirty cow exploit using wget. I pull down the raw C source code for the exploit straight from GitHub into our .tmp staging area. This specific variant will exploit the kernel race condition and rewrite the etc. pass w. I make a classic syntax error. I mash the compile command and the execute command onto a single line without a separator. The GCC compiler gets confused, thinking my password is a C file, and throws an error. A rookie mistake in the heat of the moment. No problem, we just need to separate them. Compile it first, then execute it. Let's fix the command and get this shell. I fixed the syntax, successfully compiled the exploit, and launched Dirty Cow. It backs up the password file and begins the attack. I execute the compiled exploit to change the password, but right here at the C, I lose patience and interrupt it. Interrupting a memory Write just corrupted the most critical file in Linux. Look at the fallout. I try to cat the file. Linux tells me it's now reading as a corrupted binary file. I try sudo su. The system replies, unknown user, root. I literally just wiped the root user out of existence. The server is bricked. I run the exploit again, and once again, I interrupt it with a C. The race condition fails catastrophically. The original root user is completely wiped from existence. The exploit managed to inject the backdoor user Tor just before it crashed. I log in, check my ID, and there it is, UID 0. Server is broken, but we are officially root. Now that I have system root, I try to access the MySQL database. But access is denied. The database has its own password. Here is a pro tip for Debian systems. As a UID 0 user, we can read the debian.cnf file. It contains the plaintext maintenance credentials for MySQL. I use it to log in, reset the privileges, and finally access the database as root. Let's run show databases and see what we captured. Look at this loot. Drupal, a merchant database, and even a pony database, likely a botnet C2 backend. We hit the jackpot. can't read a file without opening the drawer first, I need to run MySQL to select the database before querying its tables. Let's fix that and extract the hashes. Instead of switching databases, I use a more direct approach. I run describe MySQL user to see the structure of the table. But as an attacker, I don't care about their ability to create or drop tables right now. I'm only looking at the very top. I need exactly 3 columns: host, user, and password. This tells me exactly how to query the database. Now that I know the column names, it's time to write the final SQL query and extract the password hashes for the entire system. The output is messy because of the sheer amount of data, but right there in the chaos, we find our targets, admin and webadmin. Look closely at the password fields. They start with $S. Any experienced penetration tester knows exactly what this is. These are Drupal 7 password hashes. Highly salted and iteratively hashed using SHA-512. The system tried to protect them, but it's too late. Hacking is rarely as clean as it looks in the movies. Sometimes you brick the server, accidentally wipe the root user from existence, and have to crawl through a corrupted backdoor just to survive. What a chaotic, beautiful mess. This is the reality of real-world penetration testing. It is almost never a straight line. We went from a simple Rsync misconfiguration to a kernel exploit disaster, and finally rose from the ashes as a zombie root exploit disaster, and finally rose from the ashes as a zombie. If you enjoyed this raw, unedited look at how a box actually gets compromised, mistakes and all, hit that like button and subscribe. But if you think we are done with this server, you haven't been paying attention. Remember this? We only scratched the surface with those Drupal hashes. Sitting right next to it is a merchant database. And even more sinister, a database named Pony, a notorious credential-stealing botnet backend. In the next episode, we are diving straight back into this SQL vault. We are going to mine the merchant data, and we are going to dissect that botnet. You won't want to miss it. Stay out of trouble, and I'll see you next time. Before we wrap up, I must issue a critical security and legal warning. The demonstrations in this video were conducted entirely within a closed, isolated lab environment. They are strictly for educational purposes to help us understand and defend against DNS attacks. Never attempt to spoof, hijack or recreate government, military, or enterprise websites. Unauthorized setup of such sites is a severe violation of cybersecurity laws worldwide. It will inevitably lead to criminal investigation and severe legal consequences. Technology is neutral. Always stay ethical and always act within the law.